Good morning. Good morning, market traders. So we're going to get started here. We're going to get started with the risk disclosure. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started with the risk disclosure, guys. So again, just to remind everyone that the information that I'm about to share with you is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security company or fund. Use of this information is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. Future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained here is a solicitation to buy, sell futures, options, or forex. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. So yeah, guys. So welcome to a open to public market review session. I'll be doing these to continue to support my subscribers on a once a week basis. Okay, Fridays generally are probably going to be the days. As you guys know by now, that the pre-market review has been placed behind the membership wall. So if you want to, watch, review, watch live, there is a membership now to do that. So, but I will be providing this once a week kind of live review for subscribers. Okay. So that you can continue to benefit from the content that I provide. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to our next order of business here, and that is review what we have in store in the way of news. Okay. So we're going to take a look at the portal that I use here and get a sense for what news events are in store today. Okay. Well, really, not much. Okay. So we have one news event that has been published. Okay. We have some U.S. import prices month over month that has been posted, but we don't have anything else in the horizon. Okay, outside of the regular option expiration that happens on at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, so the option expiration could have obviously an impact on the market there. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the charts. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to review of the charts. So let's go ahead and bring those up. We're going to go ahead and start with our normal market here, guys. And that is the gold. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the gold market. We're going to go ahead and turn off some of my levels here. Turn this off for now, and then turn this off. I think everything else probably could remain. All right. All right. So we're going to start off with a daily chart. Of the gold market, and the gold market of late, has kind of taken a little bit of a rest from their trek to the upside. We had a series of bullish candles here, and now we have a couple of candles here that have that are bearish, right? So we are still a ways away from this candle closing. but nonetheless is developing bearish. Okay, so we can see here that we have a little bit of a demand zone here, right around 2682 or 2683. I'm going to go ahead and color that in green. All right, this area is a little bit of a demand zone, and it's an area that's garnered quite a bit of volume in the past. Okay, it's a high volume node. Okay, so price could very well churn around this area here. Okay, so daily chart is kind of, I would say, consolidating a bit. If I look at this, I can see naturally a kind of a little bit of a triangle pattern that's forming here. Okay, you can see that we are in a triangle pattern. I guess deciding on what's going to be the next move in this market. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Okay, so we're in a consolidation pattern, really deciding on so we've kind of made this swing, kind of reacted off of this swing, went back to the upper end of that swing. Now we're at the bottom end of that swing. Now, if price does manage to close below this channel and maybe below this demand zone, then there's a possibility we can get down to 25.50. But that's not something that, unless there's some sort of a news event that causes this to happen, that's not likely to happen today. Okay. All right. Looking at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, we have our series. We're starting to build, some structure to the downside. We're starting to staircase to the downside. Again, here we are coming into a little bit of, I guess we're just past kind of a demand zone on the 4-hour, and then we're coming into a much heavier demand zone on the 4-hour here. Okay, based on the daily. Okay, so this area right here, it could very well be an area, somewhere in this range could be an area where we can potentially see a reversal in price. Okay, back up. But in the meantime, the market is still very much bearish. Okay, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Here we go. We have kind of a series of candles here that are continuing to move lower. We're coming into an area of demand that could end up being supportive. So we're going to go ahead now and open up our initial balance range, get a feel for what the initial balance range, but we're going to open it up. I was kind of looking at Asia. So we're going to go ahead daytime and then go ahead and click OK here. Okay. All right. There's our initial balance range, quite narrow range, unlike the ranges that we maybe saw yesterday. Okay, we have a very narrow range that's being established here in the gold. Okay, so next order of business here I'm going to open up is my ADR level. It looks like we've reached the ADR low level. It did generate a little bit of a bounce, but was not sustainable. Okay, buyers step in, and only for sellers to continue to drive this market lower. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add my anchored VWAP here over for London. That's one of the areas I'd like to kind of track. All right, so there's our anchored VWAP. You can see that our price has fallen below our anchored VWAP. So we have some continued momentum to the downside, and our negative DI is also telling us the same. Okay, the only thing that's lacking is that good amount of volume is not really coming into the sell side at the moment. Okay, we had a nice volume spike to the sell side based on volume delta to indicate that maybe there was some further support to the downside, but that hasn't been met with more sellers. It actually was met with lesser sellers. Okay, that could change because we have about 13 minutes away from this candle developing here. Okay. Next order of business for me would be to go ahead and create this fixed range volume profile. Again, I like to use the combination of the dynamic profile based on the candles that I have presented, as well as a fixed range volume profile for for yesterday's session. Okay, so here we are. Here's our volume profile for yesterday's session, and you can see that price is below our value from yesterday, indicating that bears remain in control of this market. Okay, so if price happens to come back and it happens to fall right at this at this 2,700 level. Okay, if price happens to come back to this 2,700 level, okay, I would expect that this would be an area where it would be an area where we would get maybe a continuation in price to the downside. Okay. Not that I'm necessarily going to wait for that to happen today, since we're about 80 points from that happening. Not likely. Okay. But this is an area that we want to, I guess, make alert ourselves. If price gets up to this level, this could be an area that could generate, again, a continuation lower in price. Okay. So we have our initial balance range. We have at least one level here where we would maybe consider a short trade. Otherwise, we have to kind of think and say, okay, well, we're coming into a demand zone. We have a relatively narrow initial balance range. That could be that could provide some ingredients here, for a potential long trade here. Okay, so we had something here. Let's say maybe briefly, we had a long trade kind of develop here in the Asia session. Okay, and then we ended up selling off. Okay, during London, and now we're back down to a level where we could garner some support. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add my levels here to this chart. Okay. Go ahead and add our levels. There's our levels. Try to place them in an area where, let's see. Okay, here are our levels that we're tracking in this market. Okay, I'm going to maybe make this a little bit narrow. It's off to the right here. So kind of, move it away from what we're reviewing here. Okay. Something a lot. Okay. So here are our levels. We have a 4-hour supply zone well above the market. We have our average daily high, which we're going to go ahead and open up already. It's at 27.25. We're already at ADR low, and appears that we want to exceed it. Okay, so let's open up ASR. I don't think I see that. There it is, ASR. Okay, so we're exceeding both our ASR and our ADR levels to the downside. Okay, so that could be ingredients for maybe a further downside move in gold. All right, we're exceeding it right now. That could be evidence that we could see further, or it could indicate, maybe that we've reached maybe some exhaustion levels here to the downside. Volume to the downside is starting to pick up here in the volume delta. Okay. We're starting to see a little bit of a spike in the negative DI, and that's aligned with the direction. So right now, there's a fair amount of momentum, I would say, to the downside in this market. All right. So we need to look for opportunities, need to look for location where we can, potentially follow this momentum to the downside, but not necessarily in right at the current price. But basically, we would look for maybe an area where we on maybe a 15-minute chart, maybe a little bit of a pullback, maybe back to maybe IB high, or maybe a pullback back up to this ADR low, and then look to maybe potentially take a short. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold market. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure I have these levels. It appears that we're kind of entering the market with kind of a bearish sentiment, I would say. The only thing that's kind of maybe cautioning me here a little bit is the fact that we are entering into a daily demand zone where basically buyers could step in at any point here. Okay, but we can't predict when that's going to happen, right? So we have to basically trade the market we're given. In this case, the market that we're given right now is a bearish market, and we need to look for bearish locations to participate in it. Okay, just going to kind of pause here to see if there's any questions. I don't see any questions, so we'll move on to the crude oil market. All right, moving on to crude oil, we're going to go ahead and start with remove some of our drawings. We'll turn off some of our indicators. It's very busy with all of them on. So we'll go ahead and turn some of these things off. Okay. And we'll take a look at we'll start off with the daily chart. Okay. Get a sense of what the market is trying to accomplish. And the market currently is kind of, I would say, a bit rangy. Okay. It's inside this value area, right? We created this kind of nice value area so we couldn't we can't necessarily expect much more than the kind of range price action we've been seeing. Okay. We get to one edge of value, we reverse. We get to the other edge of value, we reverse. Okay. It's not an environment that's generating a trend here. Okay. So right now it feels like we need to sell the tops and buy the bottoms, right? Of this range, right? Well, we can't necessarily expect that we'll get a trend out of this. It doesn't appear that it's the environment that we're in, right? So we have this kind of again, kind of then maybe in an ascending triangle, kind of maybe developing here, okay, or descending, I should say, maybe a descending triangle, right? This kind of looks like this, right? So I don't know if again, could it be an indication that we could see some further price? We have yet to make any serious highs. We are making lower lows, right? And then we have a base of support here around 67.50. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on the daily chart. Seems like it's a market that wants to continue to move lower. Okay. Now, if price starts to break some structure to the upside, if we start to get price to get closed above 71.50 or 71 for that matter, that might be, we start to get into these low volume nodes, which could generate some momentum to the upside. Okay. Moving to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart again. If I just look at these set of candles, well, I would say that we're kind of maybe starting to pick up some steam to the upside. Okay, look to the left and see. Okay, well, we just broke some structure here to the left-hand side, which again is bullish. It's not easy to break these areas, right? So that might be. And then what do I see in the horizon? Well, I see 71.50. 71.50 could be an area where we could start to see some sellers again. Okay, we are right in the middle of 70s. Okay, developing a little bit of a bearish candle here. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing on the 4-hour chart. Moving down to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart, again, we are still remain above our daily VWAP. It's beginning to kind of maybe slope above, maybe a little bit flat here in the most recent candles here. Okay, we're seeing some buying wicks on both ends of the market in an area of high volume. Not really in an environment I want to necessarily take a position in, right? Do I take a position thinking long, or do I take a position thinking short? Well, if I'm thinking long, I probably want to get to these lower areas here. Okay, I want to be at these edges of value to consider maybe a long. Okay, if I'm a seller, well, I'd like to be closer to the top of this market and look maybe for price to kind of reverse, because I know based on the daily chart, it seems like that we're kind of ranging to some degree. Okay, let's go ahead and open up our. So yeah, we got price to exceed value, and then it reversed back inside value. Okay, again, that's an indication that we could end up seeing some price movement continue to the downside. Okay. Moving on to the fixed range volume profile here, we're going to go ahead and locate the open from yesterday, drag that across to the close here. Okay, there we are. All right. So we're again inside value. All right. This is my dynamic value based on the candles that I have displayed. Okay, both indicating that we are inside value. We're about 4 minutes away from the open of the initial balance range, so we'll wait for that to happen. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and add our levels to this chart. Okay, and take a look and see what levels we're going to be tracking going forward into the session. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open up average daily range. All right, so some statistical levels to define what range we could potentially expect in this market. So we'll open this one up here, and then we'll open also this one. Okay, so we'll go ahead, and so these are some ranges. We got a nice reversal and in London, right? We came up to this ADR ASR range and reversed away from it. Okay, these average daily range and average session range, they often provide us areas for reversal in price. Okay. These are statistical levels to measure the average volatility of the market, right? Over, it takes the high and low, it takes an average for the last 14 days and comes up with these ranges. Okay. So here we are. We have price that reached the top of the range, and now we're starting to develop some structure, or continue to develop some structure to the downside. I'm going to go ahead and draw my anchored VWAP up here at the top. That's going to serve as a guide for me. So if I wanted to use the anchored VWAP as my kind of guidance here, or maybe even the top of value, I have some reference levels here that I can use. All right, 70.72 on a trade that's maybe hovering around 70.41 for a continued move to the downside. Might not be. It's kind of like a 1-to-1 trade, maybe slightly above 1-to-1. May not be a bad trade to the downside. Okay, not recommending, but it's an option. Okay, let's see. So like I said, we have the initial balance range in the horizon. So we're going to wait for this initial balance range to kind of establish itself a little bit. I see that we're in a high volume node. I see that we're kind of in this kind of bearish kind of channel to the downside. So I'm going to look for opportunities to the downside. There's no reason for me to look anywhere at anything else. Once I get to some sort of level that I can maybe lean on a little bit based on prior price action, then maybe I can change my tune. Maybe this low end of value might be an area. I've seen buyers here in the past, maybe even lower, down by this average daily low range. That might be an area where I can maybe look for execution to the upside. But until then, it appears to me that we should be looking lower in this market. Okay. All right. Let's see. Hey, Farador. Good morning. Okay. Let's see. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the NASDAQ. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and open this up here. We're gonna go ahead and see if I can find my NASDAQ chart. Okay, there it is. All right, there's NASDAQ. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off some of these indications or levels that I'm using. Okay, I'll leave the volume profile there visible. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and start with the daily chart. Okay, daily chart, and see what the market is trying to accomplish. But so if you've been watching this market for any extended period of time, the story remains the same. We are in kind of we're in uncharted territory to the upside. There's really nothing that's kind of indicating to me that the market is stalling in any sort of significant way. Okay, we are in these kind of low volume nodes, right? Low transaction nodes, right here on the upper end. We're not in value. Okay, we're extended to the upside. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart giving us the same kind of look and feel. Okay, higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so we're at the upper end of value right now. Okay, upper end of value, fair amount of volume generated here. Okay, and off we went. Okay, so now we're at the top end of value with about a half hour remaining before the open of today's session. Starting to see some indications that support continued move to the upside. Our volume delta still remains positive to the upside. Okay, but I'm not really super inclined to buy at the tops. Okay, so moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. We have a daily VWAP that's beginning to slope to the upside. Okay. If I was of the mind that maybe I would be better served in a bullish trade in this market, then I would use maybe this VWAP as my guide here. Okay. Another area that I might consider would be the top end of value. Okay. Assuming that we get that kind of pullback in this market, that would be another. This is if I'm of the opinion that I'm bullish, right? Well, if I'm looking at these markets, right, if I'm looking at this market, well, right now, based on the daily and the 4-hour, it appears that I should be looking for a bullish trade. Okay. Unfortunately, right now I have some bearish action here, which again could work in my favor because it allows me to maybe find a better location in this market and to participate. Okay. So I got my anchored VWAP here. Okay, that's another area that I might be able to use as a reference level. I have a bit of a demand zone here. Also, again, if I'm bullish, that might be another area I can lean on, to support a trade. Okay, something along this lines. Okay, that could be another area where I support. So if I'm bullish, I'm coming into some areas where I could potentially get a reversal in price, but there's no guarantee in that, right? I'm just enhancing the probabilities of areas where price can reverse, and the reason I'm kind of bullish is because I see that the higher time frame is indicating over that we are in a very overall bullish environment. Okay. All right, let's move on to let's see. Let's add our let's see, a couple things I want to add here. I want to add our levels first and foremost. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and add our levels to this market. Okay, there we are. Here are our levels that we'll be tracking. Next thing I'd like to do is identify our fixed range volume profile. You can see how the this dynamic volume profile is changing based on what candles I display. Okay, so let's see, right about here. Okay, so we're going to go this and move over one, drag this across to this here. So you can see that our fixed range volume profile, I'm just off a couple of candles here. Our fixed range volume profile is very much aligned with what we're seeing here on the right. Okay, so the question for us is, do I continue to look for trades to the upside? That seems like the path of least resistance. Okay, based on what we're seeing on the daily and 4-hour chart. And so really our only decision that we need to make here is where do we participate? Well, if we want to participate to the long side, then we need to see if we can get back down to some levels where we can again manage our risk. Okay. So one such level based on structure would be this here. Okay. This seems to be an area of support. What was resistance becomes supportive. This could be an area, 21,771 could be an area where price could reverse away from. Okay. Right. I'm just looking at it from a structure point of view. Okay. All right. So let's see. We not have ADR open yet. Let's go ahead and open up ADR. Where is ADR? Okay, ADR is here, and then we want to open up ASR at some point as well. There's ASR. All right, so it looks like we're reversing off of the top of ADR high, which is again a very natural thing for the market to do, right? Once it gets to its average kind of range, right? It's often these areas provide nice reversals in the market. Okay. Now the question is, am I going to continue to embrace a short here? I don't know. We're coming into some areas of demand. We're in otherwise a market that's been bullish. Okay. So the question is, if I start to break some structure to the downside, maybe I can start to embrace maybe a short trade. Okay. But understand that it is still very much counter trend to what we're seeing on the higher time frame. Okay. So I'm more inclined to maybe look for locations to participate in longs. I don't see enough of a risk reward kind of trade here. Maybe a scalp. I could see maybe going from here to this location here. That might be something that could offer me an opportunity, but I'm more inclined to look for maybe a bullish trade rather than take on a bearish trade. And that's mainly because of what I saw and witnessed on the daily and 4-hour charts. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to the ES. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the ES here and see what the ES has to say. All right, let's see here. All right, turn this off and turn that off. Okay, move on to the daily. Okay, similar kind of thing. We seem to be in some sort of consolidation pattern. You could pick your triangle of choice here, guys. We could say, it looks like maybe a little bit of a diagonal here that's being developed here in this market, right? So what does the diagonal tell us? Well, it doesn't tell us too much, right? Other than the fact that it's consolidating, that we could expect maybe some range price action. But what it does tell us that is that, the possibility of the size of the move here. Okay. So whatever move that we end up getting, okay, we're looking at something like this. Okay. As far as the size of it. Okay. Could be something that continues to move higher like this. Okay. Right. Or it could be something that it moves. Go ahead and clone this. Okay. Clone. All right. Or it could be something that does like this. So these little consolidation triangles really don't tell us the direction, but they tell us the size, the magnitude of what could happen. Okay. So we could easily continue. Okay. Breaking out of this, kind of like what we've done in these prior, kind of triangle patterns that we've seen. Right. We had a little triangle pattern here that ended up failing. Okay, we failed to the downside. Okay, same can happen here. All right. I don't know which one is going to be. If I did, I probably wouldn't be talking to you today. All right, moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Here we are. Okay, so again, we're in this kind of triangle pattern. Really not really making any headway in either direction. Top end of the channel, we kind of sell off. Bottom end of the channel, we buy up. So we just kind of continue to kind of stay in this range here. Okay. No real trend to speak of, other than the fact that the trend that led up to this consolidation has been bullish. Okay. So that's kind of the slant that we need to take until we see some evidence of a change in structure. Okay. Right now we're in the middles of the middles. Okay. Not really a great place to be, right? Because it's really going to potentially cause the market to kind of churn and not really make it any sort of investment either way. All right. Looking at the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Okay. So here we are looking at the 30 minutes. So we have price is above our daily VWAP. Okay. I don't have my anchored my fixed range volume profile. We'll go ahead and add that here now. We're going to go back to the start of yesterday's session, drag that across, and here we are. We're smack in the middle of value. Okay, not really any indication as there's going to be any sort of direction. We could easily be in this kind of overlapping price. Okay, we have a series of couple of candles here that are bearish. However, we are still above sloping VWAP to the upside. Okay, so this 60.75 level, I would say, in the ES looks relatively important to me. Okay, because if we do manage to close below it, then maybe we witness maybe a move back down to 60.62. Okay, however, given this slope here, given this kind of price action, it's not out of the realm of possibility, even given the strength of this candle here, that we might not bounce off of this daily VWAP. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw in my anchored VWAP. Okay, just so for some additional evidence here. Okay, I'm going to locate the candle for the start of London. Okay, so we have actually crossed below that. So we have one data point that says that maybe we are going to head lower. London took the market higher. New York is looking like it wants to take the market south. Okay, so which one is it going to be? Well, if we remain above this daily VWAP, then my view is that we will continue on our trek to the upside. Okay. If price closes below VWAP, it starts to close below some of this structure here, then maybe we start to look at maybe opportunities that will lead down to these levels. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and add some of our levels here. Okay, so add levels for the ES. Okay, so here are levels for ES. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up ADR here and see where what ADR is telling us. ADR, where can you be? Where is it? Okay, there's ADR. We'll open that up. Okay, so we reacted off the top of ADR. Okay, so we made a move in London, got to the ADR high, and reversed away from it. Okay, now the question is, can we break a little bit of structure here and continue this downward move, or is this merely a pullback for some additional buying? Okay, that's the thing that we need to confirm here. Okay. All right. So I have my levels. We have about, I don't know, 15 minutes before the market opens. Okay. So we're just going to kind of sit and wait for this market to open before, I take any sort of action here. I'm going to monitor and see how well price stays above this anchor VWAP. I have obviously ASR here as well. Let's go ahead and open up ASR. There's ASR. Okay, so we have a couple of other levels that are a little bit higher on the ASR side that could serve as targets for any sort of trade here. Okay, so we'll see how this 30-minute candle closes here at the start of the session. Does it close below or above VWAP? And if it closes, depending on that closure, that could offer me some insight as to the direction. Okay, all right. I think that's pretty much what I have to say for ES. We're going to go ahead and pop into the Dow, okay, and take a look at the Dow here, and then maybe move into some marketing. All right, let's see. Here we are in the Dow. All right, daily chart. Probably the most bearish of all the markets, I would say. Look at the series of candles that we've had here to the downside. Out of all the equity markets that we've witnessed so far, the Dow seems to be leading the charge for lower pricing. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight days of down movement in the Dow. Okay, we're still a ways away from finding some support, or structure that would be supportive here, right around this 43,600 level. Okay, this would be an area on the daily chart that I would suspect would be somewhat supportive. Okay, somewhere in that range. Okay, but we seem to have created some structure, or we've broken a level here to the downside. The next level would be 43,390. Okay, that'll be an area that I would kind of witness. And again, it's kind of around this same area that we've kind of highlighted so far. Okay, is this area going to offer a bounce? Okay, is this merely a pullback? Right, that's going to offer, allow market participants to kind of add to their portfolio. Okay, for another move like this, that's certainly possible. Okay, looking at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart again. Here's our steady series of look at the nice staircase that's been formed on the average daily ranges. It's staircasing to the downside. Okay, is there any reason that I should be buying this market? I'm not seeing any evidence of it. Okay, we should continue to look, especially in the Dow, for opportunities to the downside. Okay, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Again, we're making our series of lower lows, lower highs. Okay, where our candles are below our daily VWAP. Okay, so again, indication is that we're going to head down to at least this 43,905 potentially before we see anything in the way of bullish price action. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing on the Dow. Right. I don't need a text window. I just need an arrow. Okay. So this is kind of what I'm seeing here. Okay. Now I don't have any levels established here, but we'll go ahead and add them now. Okay. So we have here 44,136. Okay, 44,136 is our average daily range high. Okay, we have 44,172. Okay, we probably want to put that above this, right? 44,172. 172. That's our average session range high. Okay. And then we have our value areas. So we're going to go ahead and open that up over here. Okay. These are our value areas that we're going to track. So we have settlement, or actually value area high. Okay. At 44,260. Okay. That's our value area high. And then we have, what was that settlement price? 44,000, 44,124 is our point of control. 44,042 is our value area low. And then we had settlement at 43,977 is our settlement price. And then let's see, average session range low. We got 43,905 is our average session range low. And let's see, our last level here is 43,820. 43,820 is our average daily range low. Okay. All right. So yeah, these are our levels that we're going to be tracking in this market. The last thing I'm going to add here is our fixed range volume profile, just to get a sense of where price is in relation to value. We're going to go ahead and locate the start of this candle. I suspect that we're probably below it. Okay. And no, we're on the edge, okay, of value area low here. So again, another area of confluence here that could offer us maybe an opportunity to the bullish side if we are so inclined. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing. We're coming into some areas where we could potentially see a bounce in price. Farador, I know you are how to set volume profile anchored on your GC, but I do something wrong. If you have time, could you explain how to set it? Okay, so yeah, I don't know if you saw what I just did here, right? But this volume profile, this is a fixed range volume profile. There's a dynamic visible range volume profile, Farador, that I use. But the fixed range volume profile, I just basically go select the fixed range volume tool here, right? And I select the start of the session of from yesterday, right? I select that candle, right? Select that candle and then drag it to the close of the session. Oh, the volume on my right? Okay, the volume on the right, well, that's a different indicator altogether. Okay, that is visible range. Okay, so I go visible range volume profile. Okay, this visible range volume profile, this is how it appears by default, right? Okay, but I'm not interested in the buy and sell volume. Okay, so what I do to kind of distinguish and help me understand whether I'm in value or outside of value, what I do is I go in and I modify the style. Okay, I'm not interested in the buy and sell volume inside each one of these volume bars. I'm not. Okay, that doesn't give me any sort of insights. Okay, so what I do is I change the value area up and the value area down, which is basically buy and sell, and I basically change it to the same color, right? Same color. Okay, so that tells me my value range, right? 70% of price, 70% of the volume is traded inside this price range. Okay. And then what I do is I draw the outside of these ranges a different color. Okay. I also want to know when I'm outside of value. Okay. So I usually use gray. You can use any color you wish, right? But again, I'm not interested in buy and sell volume. I'm just interested, am I inside value or am I outside of value? So right now I'm outside of the value area. Okay. And again, it really depends. It really depends on how much of these candles I display. If I'm very close to the market, well, it's going to give me a different kind of look and feel here, right? You can see that we're below value, right? So it really depends on how much of this. Now you can maybe set this up to just include London, right? And that would give you kind of a London kind of look and feel, right? Value is up above during London, and now we're in these ranges. And notice how price has created some momentum here as a result of this move. Okay, we got into these low volume areas, and price has accelerated to the downside. When we're in these high volume nodes, price does not accelerate. It tends to stall. It tends to churn. Okay, so that's why these having and knowing and being aware of where we have these low volume areas could support you in direction, could support you in the momentum of price. Okay. All right. So that's a little bit of a bonus here, guys. So what I'd like to do, if you would entertain me here, guys, is I'd like to talk a little bit about the membership program, okay, for my portal. All right. As I mentioned, the market or the portal has moved to a membership only for some of this real time information. Okay. So I wanted to kind of talk through that with you guys, make sure you guys understand the value that I'm providing you, as well as, again, I'm at the end of the day, in order to continue to, provide these kinds of sessions to you guys, there's a certain amount of investment that needs to be made, right? And so in order to have investments, I need support to continue to be able to do that. Right. So I'm basically looking for this memberships here so I can kind of talk through what these membership plans look like. Okay. And what they offer you. Okay. Again, I'm not pitching you at the beginning. I'm pitching you at the end. Okay. After providing you the content and this, basically a review here. So let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Let's see. Just gonna make sure I keep an eye on you guys, and then let's see if I can display. Okay. Display these new plans that we have. Okay. Again, in the spirit of support, supporting me and allowing me to continue to support you. Okay. We've created these plans. Okay. And so that I can continue to invest in the portal and provide you the content that you all desire, right? So let's show you what some of these plans look like, and we'll go from there. So here we'll go ahead and show you. If you guys were kind of wondering what this looks like, we're going to go ahead and share with you now. Okay, what it is. Okay. All right. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and go into this. Okay. All right. Let's move this off. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and display the membership. Okay. We're going to go ahead and find the window here. There it is. Okay. So let's talk membership, guys. Okay. So there's three membership levels that I've identified. Okay. There's the market trader starter level, which basically gives you access to all my video series, okay, that pertain to trading. Okay. some videos that are particular on, you know, how I navigate the markets, some education. Okay. Then we move on to the Market Trader Plus. Okay. The Market Trader Plus will actually make you makes this session that we're in today available to you live. Okay. And for the nominal price of $49.99 a month. Okay. This is not a per session price. This is a monthly price. Okay. And then the Market Trader Pro series, I am going to open up myself to you and provide you with more access of me trading live. Okay. So right now I have it set to once a week. I hope to expand that. Okay. But the idea here is to have you look over my shoulder and watch me actually navigate and trade the markets. Okay. So we have the Market Trader Starter Series for $35 a month. It gives you access to some videos. It's kind of more self-service. Okay. Market Trader Plus makes this session that you're watching right now available to you. Okay. And the ultimate one right now is the Market Trader Pro series, and that gives you access not only to this session, but it also gives you access to live sessions, live trading sessions with me. Okay. Right now I have it set up for once a week, but I'm hoping to expand that out to maybe some afternoon sessions where I can do some trading with you guys live. Okay. So again, that's why these sessions have not been public, because they are now behind a membership wall. Okay. I will continue to provide these on a weekly basis, open to the public, so that I can continue to yeah, it's all, Aaron, this is all on the desktop. Okay. It's all on the desktop. So you'll need to click on the join button, Aaron. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want to make this, an hour of me marketing myself to you. But again, the idea is for me to continue to invest in the portal and to continue to, you don't have a desktop, Aaron? Okay, well, let me go ahead and provide the link here for you guys who might be interested in entertaining this. Let me go ahead and provide the link. Okay, so if you're entertaining this, you can go ahead and review the link here. There's the join link. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can find me obviously in the Discord server. Happy to entertain any questions here. If you have any comments about this video, then I can also provide you some insights about the membership program. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want to further, but I just want to kind of describe the programs, describe what you're getting with each of the programs, and basically, thank you for your support and future support of the channel. All right. Okay, guys, that's it for me. I will be navigating my way over to the Top Step Discord server and provide whatever insights I can about the markets over there. And no group coaching call later this afternoon, and we'll pick up our sessions pre-market, okay, on Monday, which will again be behind this membership wall. So I would encourage you to to make that investment. $50 a month gives you access to this real time. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, and have an excellent trading day. Trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader.